YouTube. It's your guy, not your average trucker. Shout out to the Puddle of Water. Back at it with another video. People are asking what I do to what's my strategy for hiring drivers? The strategy I use for hiring drivers. As y'all know, man, I've been in the game since 2007 or whatever. Started out with 2 drivers right off the bat, man. One was my cousin, and the other was a guy that we met in trucking school. But you know, after that situation, you know, whenever I came up on a situation where I needed to hire more people, way back in the day, I would put ads on Craigslist, and that was like hit or miss. But you know, that was big in the I don't even know what to call that era, mid 2000s, I guess. Then I told y'all I've used temp services. They're extremely expensive, man. Temp services only work when I'm in a bind or I got stuff that need to be done. I'll put a temp in the truck while I'm trying to hire another person because A, temps are expensive. B, if you end up hiring a temp, you pretty much got to buy that person from the temp agency. And so, you know, when you do the math, it's like not even worth it. I know one guy I had him as a temp for a couple months, and it was gonna cost me like $6,500. Like if I hired him, it was gonna cost me $6,500 that I would have had to pay the temp agency. And who the hell gonna do that? Like this ain't the NBA or the NFL where I'm out here, you know, buying out contracts for players. So, you know, had to part ways with that dude and, you know, put another person in the truck. Then there was a situation where it's like, you know, you would think it'd be as simple as, you know, you just quit the temp agency and you come work for me. But, you know, it don't really work that way. But fast forward to now, the main thing I do, I just post positions on Indeed. That works for me extremely well because you go on Indeed, you post a job. The key to it is to sponsor a job. There's a lot of people out here that choose not to sponsor. And, you know, as you know, it's literally hundreds, if not thousands of jobs posted on Indeed like every couple hours. So it's easy for your posting to go to the bottom. But if you sponsor it, it keeps it, you know, up to the top. So normally what I do, I post a position, I sponsor it, I put a couple assessments on there, and then they got a couple of things what's called deal breakers. Like, you know, if you got less than 2 years experience, it'll automatically filter those people out, won't even send them people to me. If you don't have a CDL, all types of, you know, filters you can set so you're not wasting your time dealing with bozos. And they have options for Indeed to automatically get people to apply, you know. So part of it is people physically being on the Indeed app or the Indeed website looking for a job. Another part of it is Indeed actually reaching out to people that they know fit your hiring criteria and getting them people to apply. So needless to say, you do that, and then normally as soon as I post a posting, that first day I probably get at least 50 people, you know, in my little Indeed inbox, guaranteed every time. But so what I normally do is, because I got a lot going on, so I don't necessarily, it would be more cost effective if you know, are on it. You understand? Like, so as soon as they send me them people trickle in, if I would reach out to those people initially, and like pause the posting, it'd probably be cheaper. But you know, you gotta pay to play sometimes, so I don't really be worried about it. So what I normally do is I let that ad stay up there sponsored for at least a week, and then what I do is go back. And as far as sponsor means you set a limit. You know, I think by default it's on like $25 a day or something like that. You set a limit as to how much you're willing to spend per click. So that's how it is. They charge you per how many people click on your ad, something like that. So I leave it at the default. I think the default is like $25. If you're a cheapskate, you can put it on $5. That means, $5 worth of clicks, and per day, that's what you roll with. But I leave it on 25, and then at that point, I let it ride out for a week, sponsored, which means my posting is always at the top. And mind you, I'm getting a whole lot of candidates every day, all day. Then I'll turn off the sponsored part, so that way I'm not physically paying for it anymore, but it's still on the website. It's just not sponsored. So if somebody type in the keywords or something, they'll still find your ad, but it's just not going to be featured at the top. But then at that point, whenever I have time, sometimes it's when I'm at the office or when I'm at home, or it could be if I'm sitting at a dock or somewhere, I start going through the people that have applied and start narrowing it down. When I'm looking at it, sometimes it's people that apply that literally have 40 years worth of driving. I see that. Then there's some people that apply that only have 2 years or whatever. My minimum is 2 years, because you got to have 2 years just to even be on my insurance. I ain't even playing games no more. So if you're fresh out of school, or if you got 1 year experience, I ain't interested at all. But anyway, I start filtering through the people, reading their resumes, reading their previous work experience, and they got a check mark up there if you like them, question mark if it's like a maybe situation, or X to just reject them outright. And that's what I do. So I go through all the applicants that I have. Most of the time it's over 100 and some. I get to filtering them, and then I just I start calling. You understand? And that's pretty much how it goes. Look, man, I told y'all, every time I'm trying to make a video, it never fails. Freaking phone rings, yo. Every time. Hello. But anyway, after I narrow it down, I start making calls. I do them in like groups of 10 normally. I start calling, get the person on the phone. I got a couple of set questions that I go over, try to feel the person out to see if it's worth, inviting them to my office, or if it's worth, setting up a meet. And with COVID going on, that makes it difficult. I don't really want people coming to my business and all that unnecessarily. So you ask the questions, man, see if y'all can, pretty much describe what I need them to do. Yeah, I might want you to run Amazon or something. I'll break down how Amazon work, or if I want you to do some regional over-the-road stuff. I pretty much sell myself to them so that they perfectly understand what it is I'm offering and what it is I'm looking for, to pretty much limit the chances of me wasting my time or them wasting their time. And if we appear to mesh, at that point I'll go ahead and email them over an application. Or it's a lot of people out here that don't have access to email, so I walk them through how they can fill out the application online from their phone. Or situations sometimes where I just bring a hard copy and meet up with them. And for the most part, I specify in the ads that I have, if I'm looking for a driver to drive a freaking manual truck, I'll make sure that ad says, must be able to drive a manual, you understand? Or if it's an automatic, not so much. Then at that point, once I, go through all the people, I find a few that I like, meet with them, give them a little road test. And if the road test goes well, which is normally pretty simple for me, because lately, I made a video last year, the year before, about the hard time I had when I was trying to find a driver. It might have been last year, to drive a 10-speed. That was hilarious. But for the most part, once I meet up with them, if all goes well, I get them a road test. road test normally consists of, you know, making sure they do a semblance of a freaking pre-trip, right? You know, checking them out for that. Then making sure they, you know, if it's a manual, making sure obviously they can shift gears properly. If it's an automatic, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. Then, you know, we get up out, I get them on the highway, get up to, you know, 65, 70, you know, roll around a little bit. Then, you know, I got an area where I take them backing into a dock, because that's mainly all I care about, man, is making sure you can drive. And like I always say, you know, all I really care about when hiring somebody is if you're reliable, as in being on time and don't hit nothing. So that's pretty much what I look for in a road test. A lot of people, for whatever reason, get nervous during a road test, and they, you know, when they backing in, they might have to do a couple pull-ups, and they getting all nervous, making excuses. And I tell them, I'm like, look, man, it's not a race. Long as, you know, you show me that you do have the ability to, you know, back into a dock. And obviously, since I don't look at nobody that has less than 2 years experience, I ain't talking about, yo, they had their CDL 2 years, but they might have worked for a couple months and then they went and did some other kind of job. Nah, I need 2 years of verified, I know you had a job for, you know, driving for 2 years. You understand? So with that being said, you know, the whole road test is pretty much simple, because I'm only talking to people that got mad years experience. So obviously they can back up a damn truck. So with that said, you know, if I like them, I tell them the next step. Yo, I'm gonna run your background. You know, how's your, you know, obviously when I'm filling them out on the phone before I even set up an interview, I'm telling them, you know, I'm asking them, yo, what your driving record look like? Because, you know, if you got a lot of speeding tickets or accidents and all that, I don't waste my time. Like, I ain't gonna move no further. So, but anyway, you know, I do a background check, obviously, drug tests and all that, and check their references, man. So, you know, verify their work history, you know, because a lot of people give you a sob story as to why they not working. You know, pretty much everybody that applies for a job wants you to believe that they're currently not employed because of their choice. And it's like, you know, it's not many people that just stop working for absolutely no reason. So something happened. Either you got in an accident, either you got fired, or whatever. So I try to figure out what that is and go from there. You know, I'm a personable dude, so you know, I ain't no hard ass. You know, I hire plenty of people with records that don't really bother me, long as you don't have no, you know, you ain't out here abusing women or doing something to kids. I can roll with you. You know what I mean? I got a lot of, you know, I started my company hiring a felon, so it is what it is. But other than that, man, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I've never had to use any other methods. You know, like I said, when I first started, it was Craigslist, and I tried Monster. Then it was temp agencies and Indeed, man. That's pretty much all I have to do. You know, I've hired some people off word of mouth, you know, but I found that, you know, I don't really like hiring dudes, you know, like friends, because that shit can get kind of annoying sometimes, you understand? So I don't really hire friends too much. But to answer your question, my man, that's pretty much how I do the hiring process. It's really not much to it. You know, a lot of people pretty much overthink things. But it's your guy, Not Your Average Trucker. Quick video. I have to run in Walmart and buy my wife a freaking Valentine's Day cup. Yeah, it'll be easy, you heard?